Hi everyone, welcome to another lesson of English. Today we're going to deal with writing, which is another very important skill of language learning and which the majority of students complain that they have difficulty with. Let me give you a very important piece of advice to deal with writing. Do not tackle the task of writing as a whole. It's going to be difficult for you to do so. Try to divide the task into smaller pieces. That way, you will deal with each piece at a time, and it will be very easy for you to write a very big piece of writing or paragraph or letter, whatever. Today we're going to see how to write a personal letter, which is a letter that you can send to someone very close to you, a friend maybe, a relative, member of your family, sister, brother, etc. Great, now let's read the task. It says here, your friend from England wants to visit you in Morocco next summer. Write him a letter about some traits of the Moroccan culture so as not to go through culture shock. Great. The components of an informal letter are 6. The first one is opening greeting. Second, introduction and reason for writing. Third, the body. Fourth, closing. Fifth, closing greeting. And finally, signature. Great. Now let's try to find the key words in our task here. Can you read again and tell me the key words that will help you to write what you are supposed to write about? The first one is great, friend. Second one, excellent, England. Third one, Morocco. Perfect. Friend from England coming to Morocco. You have to bear in mind, it's a friend. So I'm writing to a friend, which is someone close to me. Coming from England, which is totally far away, totally different. And coming to Morocco, which is my country and my culture. Great. Another important keyword, letter. So I'm going to write a letter, not a paragraph, not an essay. It's a letter. To tell him about what? Some aspects, some traits. Traits means characteristics or aspects. Of what? Of the Moroccan culture. So I'm going to write about some traits, not all the traits. I'm going to choose 2, 3, 4 maximum, 4 aspects or 4 traits of the Moroccan culture. So as not to go through culture shock. This letter would help him to avoid not feeling ashamed or feeling kind of bad feeling when he comes to our country. Great. So the first element is opening greeting. Of course, you can write the date of the recipient of your friend. I mean the address of your friend on the top here. Then below the date, today's date, and after that you can write it either here on the left side or on the right side. Either is accepted. Right, the first one is opening greeting. What can you say in opening greeting? You open a greeting. You say, for example, hi friend, or dear friend, or simply hi there, or dear Alex. His name is Alex. Dear Linda, in case of a female friend. Okay. Or let's, for example, dear friend, come. So that's number 1. Number 2, introduction and reason for writing. I'm not going to tackle the task directly, but I'm going to start with a sentence just to introduce my writing first. And then another sentence that's in which I express why I am writing this letter. For example, in the introduction you could say, "Thank you very much for the letter you sent me last week," as an example. Or, "I'm sorry, I haven't written to you for so long because I've been very busy with exams," or whatever. Or you could just say, "I hope you are doing well and your family too." A sentence that shows that you are starting writing. I would choose, for example, here, I would say, "I'm very glad to hear that you are visiting my country." Here's a sentence. I'm glad or happy. I'm so happy to hear that you will visit my country, that you will visit me next summer, of course. Here's a sentence that would be introduction. A sentence that would express reason for why I'm writing now. I'm writing to tell him, because it says here, write a letter telling him, alright, yeah, about some traits of the Moroccan culture. So now I'm writing you this letter. I'm writing you this letter to, what's the reason? To tell you about some traits of our culture, of the Moroccan culture. Stop. Okay, here you see, that's opening, and that's introduction and reason for writing. Now we move to the third thing, which is the body. The body you're going to tell the important things. The main purpose of this letter is to tell about some traits of the Moroccan culture. So I'm not going to start writing. No. Please, I'd like you to think and try to set at least three aspects. Think about them, because there are plenty of things you can talk about in the culture. There's language, religion, clothes, traditions, customs, beliefs, plenty of things. So let's just choose three that would seem important for a foreigner to know about our culture. For example, I would suggest to talk about accommodation. I mean, where your friend is going to stay, and what's he going to be eating. Accommodation means food and where to live. So these two things are gathered in the word accommodation. So is he going to go to a hotel, or is he going to stay in your house? This is one of the things he would like to know about. Let's say the second one is when people meet in Morocco, how we greet each other. So let's choose the word greeting. Do we shake hands? Do we kiss on the cheeks? Do we give hugs? Whatever. And let's choose the third one is table manners. I mean, how we normally eat here in our country. So I guess these three things, these three items are very important for a foreigner to know about, to avoid culture shock. Great. Now here again, I divided my topic into subtopics, if I want to say. Let's talk about accommodation in one or two sentences. We'll talk about greetings in two sentences. And we'll talk about table manners in two sentences. And that's it. That's the body of our case. Great. So first, accommodation, I would say don't worry about accommodation. Don't worry about accommodation. Why? Let me tell him. Let's tell him that here in our country, there are some very important values like hospitality and generosity. Great. Yeah, let's just say hospitality. Hospitality is a very important. Or a very deeply rooted value in our culture. So my family will be very glad to welcome you at home or to receive you. So my family will be pleased to welcome you or to put you up means to accommodate you. Great. Second one is greeting, and the third one is table manners. Great. Let's say concerning greeting, about greetings. In Morocco, we normally shake hands. It's the very common way. We normally shake hands. But sometimes we kiss on the cheeks or we give a hug in case of a relative, somebody from the family, or a very close friend. You can mention this too. But sometimes we may kiss on the cheeks or give a hug. That's it. Then you move to the last point, which is we said is table manners. Very good. Concerning table manners. Yeah, in Morocco we usually eat together around one table, and we eat from one dish placed in the middle, and we use our hands directly from the dish. Great. About our table manners, we usually eat together from one dish. That's quite important to mention. From one dish. And we use only the right hand. We use only the right hand. That's it. So that's the body. Now we move to the fourth one, which is closing. Closing, I'd like you to write a sentence that shows that you have come to the end of your letter. Just as in number 2, introduction, a sentence that shows that you are beginning the writing. I would say, for example, finally, I hope this letter would help you, help relieve your panic about the visit, for example. Or you could tell him, I'm sure you will enjoy this visit in Morocco so much and you will never regret it. Or you can write your own sentence. These are just suggestions. Okay, for example, I would say, finally, I'm sure you will enjoy your visit so much. That's it. So that sentence would be considered as closing. Number 5, closing greeting, just as number 1, opening greeting. And then we need closing greeting. Closing greeting, you could say, for example, best wishes. Very common expression. Or best regards, or take care, or goodbye, bye for now, keep in touch. So there are plenty of expressions which are used to close a greeting of an informal or a personal letter. Let's choose, for example, best wishes. Right? And the last step is signature. By signature, you can just write your name. Here, for example, let's say Ahmed. That's all. This is the letter in brief. Great. Now, we just help you with some labeling. We would say that this is number 1. And that's number 2. And number 3, it's from here. Oh, sorry, that's number 2, yeah. And number 4, the body. And closing. And closing greeting. And signature. So I hope I have helped you with writing a personal letter. Thank you very much for watching this video lesson, and hope to see you next time with another lesson. Bye for now.